On a quiet human military outpost on planet Kuro 7, the night sky was full of strange stars, glowing red and blue above the black sand dunes. The base was almost empty, now most soldiers had been called to the front lines. Only a few guards and scientists remained behind, keeping the labs secure and silent. Inside one of the storage domes, where red warning lights blinked slowly, a forbidden vial sat glowing behind thick glass dot far from the human base. In the cold jungle beyond the sand, a young alien girl named Velia crept silently through the darkness. She had smooth lilac skin, large silver eyes, and thin ridges along her arms that shimmered when she moved. Velia was curious by nature, and maybe a little too brave. She had heard stories about the humans, how they were dangerous, how they fought with fire and metal, but she also heard they helped her kind once during a border war. And Velia wanted to see their world for herself. She followed the dim lights of the human base, staying low, avoiding motion sensors and walking through shadows. Her heart pounded with excitement and fear. This was forbidden. But something inside her, curiosity or instinct, pushed her forward. She found an unlocked side door and slipped inside. The halls were quiet. The air smelled of metal and chemicals. Her bare feet made no sound on the floor as she moved past blinking screens and humming machines. She didn't touch anything until she reached a sealed room marked in faded human letters. She couldn't read them, but the red paint suggested danger. Still, the door was already open slightly, as if someone had left in a rush. Inside the room, dozens of small glass vials floated inside a cooling chamber. Blue ones, green ones, but one in the center glowed deep orange, almost golden. It pulsed like it was alive. Velia stared at it, drawn to its beauty. Her body felt hot. She hadn't had water all day. Maybe this was some kind of nutrient drink. Humans had strange ways, she thought. The vial was warm in her hand. It looked harmless, no strange smell, just a bright glow. She tilted her head, gave it a little sniff, and then without thinking too hard drank it. At first, nothing happened. She wiped her lips, placed the empty vial back where she found it, and turned to leave. Then the heat began. It started in her chest. A slow warmth, rising and spreading like fire in her blood. She gasped, stumbling, pressing her hand to her heart. Her breath came faster. Her skin tingled all over. Her eyes widened as her knees wobbled, and she dropped to the floor, breathing hard. What is this?" she whispered. Her senses sharpened. She could hear the heartbeat of a rat in the wall. She could feel the cool air against every inch of her skin. But inside her, something was waking up, something strange, powerful, and hungry. Her cheeks burned. Her body felt alive, more alive than ever before. But it wasn't right. This wasn't food. This wasn't water. She had drunk something else. Something made for humans. Or worse, Velia pulled herself up, her hands trembling. She had to get out of there before someone saw her. Whatever she drank, it was doing something unnatural to her body. She rushed down the hall, her heart pounding louder with every step. Her breathing was heavy, her legs weak. But she made it outside, slipping into the jungle again, vanishing into the shadows like she was never there. Back inside the base, a small red light blinked quietly on a monitor. Alert. Vial M9 removed. Security level Belefique, but no one noticed. Not yet. Velia collapsed beneath a glowing tree miles away, clutching her chest, sweat pouring from her skin. The night air cooled her slightly, but the strange heat still swirled inside her. It wasn't just heat, it was something else. A strange need, a pulse inside her bones. She didn't understand it. She was scared. She curled up and tried to rest, but her mind wouldn't quiet. She felt something deep in her, something human-made, changing her from the inside out. And far away, in the control room of the human base, a sleepy technician finally saw the blinking screen and sat up straighter. Wait. What? One of the M-series vials is gone? He stared at the logs, confused and alarmed. 9. That's one of the aggressive bioenhancers. It's not even meant for use yet. Who the hell took it? But by the time he sounded the alert, Velia was already long gone, and the serum was already fully active inside her alien body. Something forbidden had been set in motion, and nothing would ever be the same again. The sun had not yet risen over planet Kuro 7. The sky was still deep purple, stars fading behind thin clouds of mist. In a quiet corner of the glowing forest, the alien girl Velia lay curled under a wide-leaf tree, her body trembling softly. Dreams were strange. She saw fire dancing across her skin, felt human hands touching her, heard whispers in a language she didn't know but somehow understood. Her heart raced in her sleep. Her fingers clenched the dirt. Her legs twisted, as if her own body was trying to escape itself. Then her eyes snapped open. She gasped for air, her chest rising quickly. Everything around her felt louder, brighter, sharper. She could hear insects crawling beneath the leaves, smell the distant heat from the human base, even feel the gentle heartbeat of a bird sitting high above her. Velia sat up slowly, her skin damp with sweat. Her lilac cheeks were glowing faintly. Something inside her had changed, and it wasn't just physical. She pressed her palm against her stomach and closed her eyes. The heat was still there. Lower now, deeper, like a flame that refused to die. But it wasn't just burning her. It was calling her, pulling her mind towards something specific. Something ... human ... She shook her head. No, this is not me, she whispered. Her people, the Zerini, had deep respect for balance, for emotional control. Feelings like this, desire, need, hunger, were carefully trained from youth. But now, every breath she took made her crave something wild. Her own body no longer listened to her mind. She stumbled to her feet and moved toward the river, needing to cool down. She waded into the water, letting it wash over her. But even the icy current did not silence the strange pulse inside her. And then, she heard footsteps. Soft, careful, human. Her eyes widened. She froze, half submerged in the water. From between the trees, a young soldier appeared. Private James Keller, a human scout known for staying behind to guard the rear outposts. He was alone, rifle slung across his back, checking the area for signs of movement. He didn't see her yet, but Velia saw him. And something inside her surged out. The feeling was instant. Her pulse quickened. Her lips parted, her pupils widened. Her body leaned slightly forward like a hunter spotting prey, yet she felt no hunger. Not the normal kind. She had met James once before, months ago, during a ceasefire moment. He had treated her kindly, smiled, given her a ration bar when her translator device malfunctioned. Now, just seeing him stirred the strange fire inside her. The serum had done something terrible or wonderful. She didn't know yet. She stepped out of the water without thinking. The movement caught his attention. He turned sharply, weapon raised, then lowered it in surprise. "Velia?" he said, blinking. "What are you doing out here?" She said nothing. At first, her body moved on instinct. Her walk was slow, her eyes locked on his. James noticed her face was flushed, her steps shaky. "Are you okay?" he asked, taking a step forward. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Her throat was dry. She couldn't explain it. She just stared at him, breathing fast. James saw her trembling. "Hey, sit down. You're overheating. Were you running? Are you sick?" He took off his jacket and gently placed it around her shoulders. His touch sent a shiver through her entire body. She let out a soft sound and looked away, ashamed. I drank something," she whispered, his eyebrows furrowed. "What kind of something?" She didn't know the name. She just remembered the glow, the orange light, the smooth warmth, and the burning that followed. "From your base," she admitted. James's eyes widened. "You drank something from the human base?" She nodded once. "Small bottle. glowed like fire. His breath caught. "Oh no," he said, stepping back slowly. "Tell me it wasn't a vial with a red top." Velia's silence was the answer. James ran a hand down his face, swearing under his breath. "That's a prototype combat enhancer. It's not medicine. It's not food. It's designed to make human soldiers ... aggressive. Focused. But it also messes with brain chemistry, boosts instincts." He looked at her again, this time with fear, not of her, but for her. "You're not human. Who knows what it's doing to you?" She clutched his jacket tighter around her. "It's loud inside me. I feel too much." James sighed, trying to think. Okay, we'll figure this out. I'll take you to the field med unit. They'll know what to do." "No," she said quickly. "No humans, no needles, no labs." He paused. "Then I'm staying with you. You're not going through this alone." She looked into his eyes, her body still trembling. Something deep inside her calmed for just a moment. And that's when she realized something even scarier than the fire inside her. She didn't want him to leave. The forest air was thick with silence, broken only by the gentle rustle of leaves and the far-off hum of insect wings. James walked slowly, his eyes glancing back every few seconds at the alien girl trailing behind him. Velia moved differently. Now not like a calm, curious visitor, but like something was pushing her from inside, that her skin still shimmered faintly under the light. Her steps were uneven. Her hands, usually so steady, now fidgeted with the edges of the jacket he gave her. It was too large for her slim frame, but she didn't remove it. She clutched it close like it was the only thing anchoring her to reality. James didn't say much. He didn't know what to say. This wasn't like any mission report, any training, or any field guide he'd ever studied. What protocol existed for an alien girl who accidentally drank a dangerous human military serum designed to heighten physical and emotional instinct? None. No manual could prepare him for this. "Are you cold?" he asked gently. "No," Velia replied, almost in a whisper. "I feel warm, but only when I look at you." James stopped walking. He turned around slowly to face her. Her silver eyes locked onto his, wide and clear, full of confusion and something else, something deeper, hungrier, yet innocent. "What do you mean?" he asked, careful with his words. "I don't understand this feeling," she said, stepping closer. "It's like a fire. But it doesn't hurt. It pulls me toward you. It started after I drank your human liquid." She looked down at her hands. "Is this love?" James blinked. "No, I mean, maybe." "No, not like this. What you're feeling isn't real, Velia. It's chemical. Artificial. The serum, it changes how the brain reacts. It wasn't made for you. Then why does it feel so real?" she asked, her voice almost trembling. He had no answer. Velia took one more step. The space between them was small now. James could see how flushed her cheeks were, how her breath came in short waves, how her eyes searched his for something she couldn't name. "You saved me once," she said softly. "Now, I think you need to save me again." James felt a chill despite the heat in the air. This wasn't right. She wasn't herself. Whatever the serum had done, it had crossed wires in her mind and heart. But even knowing that, part of him couldn't look away. She was beautiful in a way that felt almost dangerous. Like touching a star, warm, bright, and too intense to hold. He shook his head, stepping back. "We can't do this," he said. "I'm a soldier. You're a Zerini diplomat's daughter. And right now, your body's reacting to something it can't control." Velia tilted her head. "So you're afraid of me?" "No," James said. "I'm afraid of hurting you." That made her pause. For the first time since drinking the serum, a sense of awareness flashed in her eyes. Like a fog lifting, if only slightly. "You care," she whispered. "Of course I care," he said. "That's why I'm here. That's why I haven't called anyone yet. Because if they find out what you drank, they'll treat you like an experiment, not a person. Her lips parted slightly, and a soft sound escaped, something between a sigh and a sob. I don't want to be an experiment, she said. I want to be normal again. James reached out carefully and took her hand. Her fingers were hot to the touch, trembling, but she didn't pull away. We'll fix this, he said. Together, just stay close. Stay calm. I won't let anyone hurt you. And for the first time, she smiled a small, tired smile. It was weak, but real. Suddenly, a loud beep beep echoed through the trees. James's comlink blinked red on his wrist. Security breach detected in lab. Sector 9. Vial N9 has been activated. All personnel report. James's eyes went wide. They knew they were coming. He looked at Velia. Her smile faded, replaced by fear. They're going to find us, she said. James tightened his grip on her hand. Then we run, he said, before they make you into something you're not. And together, they turned and vanished into the forest. As red lights began to flash across the distant sky. In the underground research center of Outpost 47, warning lights blinked in angry red across every monitor. Scientists rushed through narrow corridors, shouting codes and opening locked drawers. Somewhere deep in the compound, a computer kept repeating one cold message. M9 activation detected. Bioenhancement agent confirmed active. Unauthorized use. Dr. Helwyn, the lead human biochemist, stormed into the central lab, his coat flapping behind him. His eyes scanned the live data scrolling across the holographic screen. No, he muttered, eyes wide. Not M9. That one was still in field trial stage. An assistant ran to his side. Sir, the logs confirm someone accessed storage chamber. E-Vial M9 is missing. We have signs of entry from an untagged source. Not one of ours. Helwyn's face went pale. Untagged? Not human? Yes, sir, the assistant nodded. Possibly ... alien. The room fell silent. Helwyn slammed his fist on the table. Do you understand what this means? M-9 was created to push human combatants to their biological edge, amplify aggression, remove fear, and, he paused, swallowing hard, enhance physical drive. We barely tested it on humans. If a non-human took it. He didn't finish. The implications were terrifying. Far from the lab in the thick roots of the forest, James and Velia had taken shelter beneath a fallen cargo pod from an old crash site. The metal walls were scorched, but it offered shade and cover. James had set up a small fire, and Velia sat near it, hugging her knees. She looked tired. The wild heat in her body was still there, but softer now. Fading but not gone. James held a tablet, scanning the emergency report he just hacked into. His hands shook as he read. M9 wasn't just any serum, he told her. It was built for the worst kind of war. Velia looked up slowly. What kind? He met her eyes. The kind where soldiers stop thinking, where they fight like animals, where feelings get twisted into weapons. Velia frowned. Then what is it doing to me? James looked down at the screen again. It says the serum pushes instinct and emotion to maximum levels. Love turns into obsession. Hunger turns into need. Pain turns into power. But it was built for human bodies, human brains. He shut off the tablet. We have no idea what it's doing to your kind. Velia looked away. It made me feel things I've never felt before. Like I wanted to touch, to be near you like you were part of me. James's heart ached hearing that. She didn't deserve this. She was gentle, peaceful. And now, her emotions were not hers anymore. You didn't do anything wrong, he said softly. It was an accident, but it's inside me now, she whispered. Changing me. There was silence between them, only the fire crackling softly. Then suddenly, thunk, a noise outside, heavy boots. Multiple footsteps. James stood up fast, grabbing his rifle. Velya's eyes widened. They're here. From outside, voices barked orders. Flashlights pierced through cracks in the metal. Drones buzzed low, scanning heat signatures. James crouched and turned to her. We have to go. Now. Velya hesitated. What if they catch me? What will they do? James looked at her seriously. You're carrying M9 in your blood now. They won't see a girl. They'll see a lab subject. That was enough, she grabbed his hand and ran with him, deeper into the forest. Leaves slapped their faces. Roots tried to trip them. But they didn't stop. Above them, a drone spotted movement and let out a sharp alarm. Unauthorized biosignature detected. Pursuit mode active. Back at the lab, Dr. Helwin got the update. He clenched his jaw. Order a live capture, he said coldly, no matter the cost. I need that alien alive. She's the key to the next stage of the serum. Elsewhere, under the glowing trees, James and Velya stopped to catch their breath. The lights behind them were getting closer. The hunters wouldn't give up now. We have one option, James said, pointing toward the old evac tunnels. They're unstable, Velya warned. Your people sealed them after the flood. I know, he nodded. But it's the only way to lose them. She looked at him. Why are you risking so much for me? He met her gaze. Because you trusted me when you were at your weakest. Now it's my turn. She reached out, gently placing a hand on his chest. Her touch was softer now, calmer, still warm, but not burning. Then let's run together, she said. And with that, they disappeared into the dark tunnels, while behind them, the full force of human science hunted a girl they no longer saw. As one of them, they only saw the serum, but James saw something else, a soul still fighting to stay human. The old tunnels beneath planet Kuro 7 had not seen light in many years. The walls were cracked and wet, covered in vines and glowing fungus. Water dripped from broken pipes. Dust and silence filled the air, except for the quick footsteps of two fugitives. James led the way, flashlight in one hand, rifle slung over his shoulder. Beside him, Velya moved fast but clumsily, her breath short, her hands shaking. The serum inside her was not resting. It was fighting. She stopped suddenly and leaned against the wall, gasping. James turned. Velya? I can't breathe, she whispered, eyes wide, voice trembling. It's getting worse. He knelt beside her. Tell me what it feels like. She looked at him with desperation. Like I'm burning from the inside, but not pain emotion. It keeps pulling me toward you. It's not just attraction. It's like my heart is being rewritten. James felt a chill at her words. The serum wasn't just affecting her body. It was reaching her soul. I need to be near you, she said. It's the only time the pressure stops. Her voice cracked, full of confusion and shame. Is that wrong? James reached out and held her hands gently. No, Velya. It's not your fault. This chemical, it's hijacking how you feel, what you're saying. It's not you talking. It's the serum trying to control your mind. But it feels real, she whispered. It feels like love. James froze. Those words hit harder than any bullet. He wanted to tell her it was fake, just the drug. But her eyes were too sincere, too full of emotion. It wasn't all fake. Not anymore. He helped her sit on a crate beside a rusted old wall panel. We need to slow your heart rate, he said calmly. Close your eyes, breathe with me. She obeyed, her breath shaky. He counted each inhale and exhale with her. Good, he said softly. Stay with me. After a few minutes, her glow dimmed slightly. The storm inside her seemed to calm. But not for long. Suddenly thud. A noise above them. Then a second. The roof creaked. They're scanning the tunnels, James muttered. Velya's eyes snapped open. We have to move again. He helped her up, but she stumbled. Her knees buckled. He caught her in his arms, and in that moment, it happened. Her hand gripped his shirt tightly. Her forehead pressed against his chest. Her breathing quickened again. She looked up at him with a gaze that was no longer just confused, it was need. "Please," she whispered. "I don't understand what's real anymore, but I need to feel safe. Just for a second." James stared into her eyes. He could feel her warmth, feel her pain. She wasn't some lab subject. She wasn't some alien threat. She was just a girl lost in a storm created by human science. "I'm here," he whispered back. "I won't leave you." But as he held her, he realized the danger wasn't just outside in the soldiers and scanners. It was inside this moment, this fragile line between protection and temptation. She wanted comfort. He wanted to give it. But what if he crossed a line? What if her trust was being warped by the drug? Could she even choose anymore? He gently pulled back. "I'll protect you," he said, his voice steady. "But not like this." Velia looked confused at first, then slowly nodded. "You're strong," she said softly. "Stronger than I am right now." "You're strong too," James replied. "You're just fighting something bigger than both of us." They moved again, deeper into the tunnels. Far behind them, soldiers were closing in. Drones swept the entrances. Tracking devices picked up faint signals, footprints, heat trails. The chase was tightening. In one command tent, Dr. Helwyn watched a digital map. He saw the movement. Two blips, human and non-human, moving together, running, hiding. He smiled coldly. "Let them run," he said. "The serum's half-life is almost over. Soon, the real effects begin." And when they do... He didn't finish, he just tapped the screen, highlighting Velia's signal. "She'll come back. They always come back. When the craving becomes too strong." But deep below, James had a different plan. He didn't care about the science. He cared about her. And he knew whatever happened next, he had to help Velia survive herself, because the true enemy now wasn't the soldiers. It was the serums. Hold on her heart. Deep inside the tunnels, silence returned. The sounds of soldiers and drones faded into the distance. The walls were darker now. The flashlight flickered. The only light came from Velia's skin, still softly glowing like moonlight underwater. James and Velia stopped near an old service chamber, half collapsed, half forgotten. He laid down his gear and turned to her, his face tense but gentle. "You need rest," he said. "We can't keep running like this." Velia sat slowly, legs tucked beneath her, eyes distant. "The fire inside me, it's not leaving. It's quieter, but still alive. I don't know who I am anymore." James knelt in front of her. "You're still you, Velia. That serum didn't destroy you. It just confused everything." She looked at him. "But it changed how I feel. I don't know if what I feel for you is real or made." He thought for a moment, then picked up a small stone and tossed it against the wall. "Look at that," he said. "A simple rock, but if I throw it into fire, it becomes hot. That heat doesn't belong to the rock, it's from the flame. But if the fire goes away, the rock will still cool down. What matters is what's left." Velia tilted her head, her silver eyes blinking slowly. He continued, "When this serum wears off, if there's still a part of you that cares about me, that wants to sit with me under the stars, or talk or laugh, that's what's real." She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. His words reached something inside her. A quiet place that had been buried under heat, chaos, and fear. "I don't want to be a mistake," she whispered. "I don't want the only reason I came close to you to be because of a human drug." James reached out carefully and placed his hand over hers. "You're not a mistake, and you're not alone." She opened her eyes again. They shimmered with tears she hadn't allowed before. "You keep saying that," she said softly, "that I'm not alone. Why? Why do you care?" James smiled faintly. Because the first time I saw you, before any of this, you were helping a wounded Terran child during the ceasefire. I remember thinking, that girl isn't just another alien. She's something special. I saw your heart long before this serum tried to twist it. Velia stared at him, her lips trembling. Something inside her cracked. The emotions that had been trapped, heated, sharpened, all broke into something gentler, not hunger, not craving, warmth, trust. She reached forward and touched his face with her glowing hand. You are the only stillness I feel, she said. When you speak, the burning slows. When you hold me, I remember who I was before all of this. James took a risk. He pulled her into a soft, steady hug. Not passionate, not wild. Just human. Her body tensed, then slowly melted against him. No words were needed. Her breath slowed. Her heartbeat calmed. The fire inside her dimmed. She wasn't fighting anymore. She was feeling again. Minutes passed like that. Quiet, safe, until the stillness was broken. A ping on James's wrist tablet. A private message from a rebel scientist, someone James had helped during a past mission. If main reaches full cycle in a non-human, final effects may lock into DNA. Only way to stop it, emotional reset. Must trigger a deep moment of trust and safety before chemical seal. After that, it's permanent. James's eyes widened. He looked at Velia, who had fallen into light sleep against his shoulder. The glow on her skin had almost faded now. He gently whispered, Velia. She stirred. He looked into her eyes. There's one chance to stop this. We need to anchor your mind before the serum seals into your body. You have to remember what's truly yours, not something forced. And you have to feel safe. Right now. She stared at him for a long time. Then softly, she nodded. And she said 3 simple words, slow, uncertain, but real. I trust you. The glow on her skin dimmed fully, and her body relaxed in his arms. It was working. The fire inside her wasn't gone, but it no longer controlled her. James held her tightly, heart pounding, knowing they had passed the most dangerous part. Not with weapons, but with something stronger, human touch. Human truth. A soft wind moved through the broken tunnel vents, carrying with it the scent of old metal, earth, and quiet hope. Velia sat on the edge of a crumbled ledge, legs dangling above a shallow stream of glowing blue water. Her skin no longer pulsed. With unnatural heat, the glow was gone. Her heartbeat was steady. Her eyes, once wild with confusion, now looked calm and thoughtful. Beside her, James stood guard. His rifle rested nearby, forgotten. He wasn't looking for enemies anymore. He was watching her with cautious care and quiet admiration. It had been 3 hours since the last signal from the hunters above. No drones, no shouts. The search had moved elsewhere, but something much bigger had changed. Velia turned to him. It's quiet inside now, she said. No more rushing thoughts, no more ... pull. James nodded slowly. That's good. But, she added, her voice softer, what I feel for you, it's still there. James looked at her. The serum's gone. You know that, right? She smiled. I know. They sat in silence for a while. Then Velia asked the question neither of them had dared speak before. What happens now? James sighed. We can't go back to the base. They'll still see you as a threat. And me? I broke protocol, protected you, hid the truth. They'll court-martial me if I show my face. Velia's brows knit together. So we keep running? He thought for a long moment. No, he said finally. We don't run. We choose. Choose what? James stood up and offered her his hand. We choose who we are. I was trained to follow rules. You were trained to hide emotion. But look where that brought us, into a situation neither of us asked for, controlled by a chemical neither of us understood. Velia took his hand and stood. Then who are we now? James looked at her seriously. You're someone who fought off a serum meant to rewrite your soul. I'm someone who learned that the strongest force isn't in the weapon we carry, but in the person we protect. Her silver eyes shimmered with something more than affection understanding. Then we don't go back, she said. We move forward. James nodded. But not just to survive, he added. To prove something. To both our worlds. What's that? That a bond formed under fire can still be real. Just then, his wrist tablet blinked one last message from his contact. Trace signal lost. Subject stabilized. Unknown behavioral link may remain. Warning: if emotional bond formed during serum phase survives beyond stabilization, it may become permanent. He showed her the message. Velia read it, then looked at him with a curious smile. So, they think our feelings could stay locked forever? Only if they were real to begin with, James said. She stepped close, placing her hand against his chest. Her touch was gentle, now not driven by heat or need. Just connection. I'm not afraid of that, she said. He looked into her eyes. Neither am I. Far above them, the world remained tense. The lab marked M9 as destroyed in field incident. Dr. Helwyn was reassigned. The serum was buried in records, hidden from public eyes. The military never found Velia again. They called her escaped. But she wasn't hiding anymore. She was living, weeks later, on a distant moon outside any known border. A small transport ship carried 2 passengers, one human soldier without a badge, and one alien girl who now wore a simple necklace of stone. James had once thrown against a tunnel wall. They flew quietly through the stars. Not fugitives, not subjects, not weapons, just 2 souls who had faced the worst science could create, and found something real in the wreckage. A dangerous bond, yes, but sometimes the most dangerous thing in the galaxy is falling in love with someone you were never meant to meet, and choosing them anyway.